Carl didn't like the term grave robber. You can only get robbed if you own something, and you can't own anything if you're dead. You can't even own yourself. If you're dead, the earth owns you. Carl thought of himself as a digger, even if there were valuables in tune with the deceased, which there often weren't. And even if he did happen to take something for himself, which he almost never did, it seemed awfully reductive to be christened for a thief, and it was really all about the digging. It mattered little to him whether he was hired to put them in the ground or to fish them out. It was work either way. The only difference was the pay. But truth be told, you did earn more as a fisherman, especially with a catch like tonight's. Yet, as he hesitated to begin his labor, shriveled against the bite of the wind, he could not drive the strangeness of the contract from his mind. It was his first time digging outside a cemetery. That was not unusual by itself. Plenty of folk passed on at odds with the Lord, and had to arrange for alternative accommodations, in which to await the Lord come. But this place, this dark forest where the branches vaulted over him like the roof of some ancient cavern, where a single tree lay marked with a red arrow, pointing down to his quarry, did not sit right with him. At last he began to dig, eyes watching him from the shadows, but he did not see them. As he worked, he wondered, not for the first time, how exactly his employer had come upon this body. A man in his position should know better than to ask such questions, but after dealing with the droves of medical students looking to improve their trade in the onslaught of macabre collectors in search of their next piece for their cabinets, he got the feeling this was something altogether different. It was almost as if the sound of crackling wood somewhere behind him brought him out of his reverie. He looked around, struggling to make out anything in the dark. At the edge of his vision, he saw the light shift, but when he turned, he could not tell whether the shadow he had seen had been real or only a cloud passing by the moon. He resumed digging with redoubled ferocity. His breathing was strained, and his crazed glance wildly scanned the foliage, missing the encroaching figure. At last, he came upon something rigid. Abandoning his shovel, he dropped to his knees and started to clear away the dirt with his hands. He knew the face of the dead man well. He had seen it every day of his life, staring back at him from the mirror. A scream formed itself in his throat and died there, unheard. I could tell you that he did not feel the axe, but the world is not that kind.